Hi everybody, I'm Melissa with Pixie Dust Adventures.
And I'm Easton from Easton's Edge.
And we are going to show you how to check in for your Disney cruise through the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app. It's pretty simple, but let's walk through a few things that you're going to need to get started. You are going to need the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app installed on your phone, which hopefully you already have that. You are going to need your cruise to be linked in that app to your account. So you're going to log into the app, link your reservations. Hopefully you've already done that part. You are going to need a strong Wi-Fi or phone signal so that your phone can operate to complete your online check-in. Also, you will need your passports or travel documents. If you're not sailing with passports, you need your driver's license and a birth certificate, that kind of thing. My advice to you is to take pictures of all of the passports in advance. Open up those first pages of the passports and take a photo in your phone of each person's opening page that has their picture on it and the passport number, because it's a lot easier to upload those pictures from your phone than to try to take pictures of the passports while you're going through the check-in process. Also, you are going to need a photo of yourself, and every guest traveling, it can be a selfie. No hats, no sunglasses. They need to be able to identify you. It's a passport-like photo that is different from your passport photo. So shoulders up, head zoomed in on you, and you can take that in advance in your phone of each person traveling, because it's a lot easier to do it in advance than while you're going through the process. You're going to need a credit card because you're going to want to buy things on board. So you're going to want a credit card to link to your onboard account for all of your incidentals and onboard gratuities and all of those charges. And you're going to need your travel information, such as flight information, hotel information that is pre and post cruise. They're going to ask you for that. And once you have all of that, you're ready to get started. Now let's go see what it looks like. We have just opened and logged into our Disney Cruise Line app, and it shows our future cruises. They pop up here first. So we need to go to the cruise that we want to complete online check-in for. And there we have our nifty little countdown in the app here. We'll scroll down and take a look at what this is going to look like for you. Know before you go information, Disney cruise plans, activities. You can add onboard fun, adult dining, port adventures, and hopefully you've already done this and taken a look at all of that process. So let's go back up. We are going to focus on right here in the middle, my online check-in. That button is active now because it's within 30 days of sailing. So we will tap check-in. And it is going to ask us if we want to open in a browser, which we will select yes. And by the way, you can also log into your Disney Cruise Line account on a computer. If you'd rather do it on a computer than a phone, you can just go to Disney Cruise Line and log into your account there. Okay, here we have opened the online check-in in our browser, and we are going to try to walk you through as much of this as possible. If we scroll down, it talks about our cruise, and it shows these little characters. These little characters on the right-hand side are the check-in process. You are going to complete guest information, your onboard account, traveling with children information, travel plans. You're going to select your port arrival time, and then review and sign your cruise contract. There are additional optional forms if you need special services, minors that travel without parents, that kind of thing at the bottom, but you will see all of that when you get in there. But look at all these little characters. They're all just an outline. Let's tap begin online check-in, and you tap the first guest's name and go into that information. And here it has my guest information. Again, some of this is blanked out and I can't show everything to you, but it has address, city, state, zip code, date of birth, those kind of things that I need to verify for my trip. And as we scroll down through this, it's going to ask for our email address, our phone number. We can add a secondary phone number. It asks for our preferred language if we want to put that in, and emergency contact information. And then if you want to use the same information for everybody else who is in your room, you can select all the parties and it will automatically fill that information in for them. It's going to ask you for identification. You're going to select identification type. In this case, we are using a passport, which I strongly encourage everyone to use. And we can either take a photo of the passport right now, or we can upload a photo of the passport that we have previously taken. So if you don't have your passports with you when you complete online check-in, on that date, at that time, make sure that you just have a passport photo, a picture of your passport that you can upload. And as we scroll down here, this is where you upload your security photo. So you just tap upload photo, and hopefully you already have pictures of everyone. They have to be kind of passport style photos. And if you already have those in your phone, it's simple to upload the photos. If you don't, you can walk around and take photos of everybody. Here's the information that tells you about the photo, that it has to be a recent color photo of you facing forward, shoulders up. Again, like I said, kind of a passport style photo is what they're looking for. And then it asks if any guest would be 24 weeks or more pregnant at the time of sailing. You answer that and you click save. I want to add here that once you upload the photo of your passport for your cruise, it will automatically pick up and recognize and see all of your passport information, the number, the expiration date, all of that stuff. So you won't need to fill that in. And then it will tell you that your photo is going through the review process and you can't change it at that time. So then you just have to wait. It's pending. They're going to review your passport before you arrive at the cruise terminal. So you can see I have uploaded my photo here. It's recognized that I had taken a selfie. Once we have completed all those questions, we have uploaded a picture of our passport. It auto-populated all the information. We uploaded our security photo at the bottom and answered their question. We are going to click save. All right, once you have saved the information for the first guest, it takes you on to the second guest to do the exact same thing again. So since we copied the contact and emergency contact information from the first guest, the second, third, fourth, and so on guests will already have that information entered. So when you get to them, all you're going to have to do is upload a photo of the passport. And when you upload it, it will automatically fill out all of this information with the surname, given name, date of birth, expiration date. It'll see that on the passport and fill it out. And then we just need to upload the security photo, answer the question, and click save for the second guest, third guest, fourth guest, and so on, depending on however many guests you have. We are now on to the third guest in the check-in process, and I want to make a little verbal note for you guys. Make sure whichever passport photo you upload is the correct photo for the guest that you are on, because once you upload that passport, it is locked in and it's pending review from Disney Cruise Line. There is no way to delete the passport photo and re-upload a new one. So just make sure you double check the name of the guest that you are checking in at the time and the photo of the passport you're uploading. Make sure they match. And one more thing I forgot to mention is if you are not sailing with a passport, which I recommend, there are other identification types you can upload. I'll click this little drop down arrow so you can see it. And it shows other things that you can choose from: passport card, enhanced driver's license, Nexus card, fast card, birth certificate. If you are using a driver's license, you also have to have your original state issued birth certificate, no photocopies, nothing like that, but you will have to upload your driver's license and birth certificate for adults, people that are over 18. Children only need the birth certificate. If you are completing the check-in for a minor, at the very bottom, you are going to notice that it says, is the parent or legal guardian of this minor sailing on this cruise? And you can select yes or no, and if the answer is no, then you have to go through the steps to provide the documentation for that minor. Now we are on the very last person in our stateroom. We've answered the questions, uploaded the passports, uploaded the photos, and we are going to click save. All right, the next step is going to show all the guests again, and it is going to talk about your onboard account information. So we'll just start in for myself for the first guest here. It asks me how we want to pay our onboard account, which would be gratuities, onboard purchases, drinks, pictures, anything that you buy while you are on Disney Cruise Line is going to be paid this way. I will enter my credit card information here and then go to next, and it is going to ask me if I want to use the same onboard account, credit card, or information for all the guests sailing in the room. And since we are all family, obviously I will select yes. Are you happy about that?
You have no idea how happy I am about that.
Okay, don't run up the stateroom, Bill.
Time to spend all the money. I'm getting every set of Mickey ears there.
After you've entered your credit card information, as I said before, you can choose if you are going to pay for everyone on board with these little check boxes here on the right-hand side on the lower part of the screen. You can say you are going to pay for this person and you are going to grant charging privileges to this person. If I do not want to grant charging privileges to a certain someone who is traveling with me, I can uncheck these boxes next to his name.
No.
And then he will have no charging privileges while he is on the cruise.
I need my Mickey ears.
And I could also uncheck if I'm going to pay for them or not, which, you know what? It won't let you uncheck that on a minor. But if you're traveling, because you have to pay for your kids, but if you're traveling with another adult, you can uncheck that and they'll have to enter their own credit card information for whatever they charge on their room key card. Okay, we had a little hiccup during the onboard account process and it blanked out all of our information and wouldn't go to the next step. So all we do is we had to get out of that website and go back to the Disney Cruise Line app and select check-in again. And open the browser again. And now we have Donald Duck here that is telling us pick up where you left off in front of the Disney Cruise Line bus because it saved our previous changes. All right, victory, it worked. We went back out to the Disney Cruise Line app and back to the website, entered our payment information again. And just as a little note for you, if you run into that hiccup that we did, what I think it was is your phone wants to auto-fill all of those fields with the credit card and the address and everything like that. And I allowed my phone to auto-fill those fields and it didn't like it. So this time when I went back in, I typed in all of the information. So don't use autofill and it might go a little bit more smoothly for you. But the next step is traveling with children. And you see you've got Huey, Dewey, and Louie in front of the Disney Cruise Line ship there. And we just scroll through it and it gives you some options for child debarkation, whether you want them to only debark the ship with adults in the same stateroom or complete authorization for children in the stateroom to go ashore unaccompanied by an adult in another stateroom or go ashore unaccompanied. My kids are both in high school. So if your kids are younger, you may want to check that top button here that says my children will only debark the ship with adults in the same stateroom, and then you don't have any other information to fill out. But we're going to complete this authorization for children in the stateroom to go ashore accompanied by an adult in another stateroom or go ashore unaccompanied. And then it asks, allow this child to debark alone or only with authorized adults or unaccompanied on the following ports of call. So you can select, like if I only wanted them to get on and off the ship at Castaway Cay, I could actually drill down, and this is just a short Disney Wish cruise, so really that's the only port we have. But if you had more than one port, you could select where you want to allow them to get off alone. Click continue. And now we are on to our travel plans stage. And travel plans are like how you are going to get there. So you're going to have your flight information. So here, I'm just going to give you a brief overview here. This is my page here for my travel information. And here you can see here, it asks you if you're flying in for your cruise vacation. No, yes, both ways. Yes, before the cruise only. Yes, after the cruise only. After the cruise, it asks where you're going to be going. I'm going to give you a quick peek at this. And then at the bottom here, you can choose to add that same information and travel plans with all of the guests in your stateroom, and it just makes the online check-in process a little bit faster. We have now completed all of our travel information, and we are going to click save and go to the next step. This is the exciting part. Woo! We get to select our port arrival time. We have Donald and Pluto. They're packed. They're headed for Disney Cruise Line. And you get to select from what is available. As port arrival times fill up, they won't be available anymore. But look, you can see that it gives you 15-minute windows. And right now what's available for us starts at 12:30 to 12:45, and it goes all the way to 3:15 or 3:30 in the afternoon. These port arrival times are very important. They're very strict about them. You will need to print your cruise documents when you are finished with this process, and you will need to bring those with you and show them at the cruise terminal when you arrive. So make sure that you select a port arrival time that is going to work for you. It is not as detrimental if you are taking Disney Cruise Line transportation from the airport or from your resort. You can select any port arrival time, and if you're on Disney Cruise Line transportation, they will have you taken care of when you arrive. Easton, what port arrival time do you think we should select?
Pick the earliest one.
The earliest time. The only downfall is sometimes if you select the earliest time, you have a little bit of a wait in the cruise terminal. So if you don't want to wait in the cruise terminal, stand around, wait for them to call your boarding group. If you select around 1:45 to maybe 2 o'clock or 2:15, then usually when you go in and go through the whole process, you'll be able to walk right onto the ship, usually without having to wait for them to call your boarding group. We are going to select 12:30 to 12:45 for our port arrival time.
Yeah.
And there it is. You can see it selected right there. And this information gives you a few port arrival tips. If you're traveling with another party and your desired port arrival time is no longer available, please select a later time period and we'll do our best to accommodate the entire group at the same time. It gives you all that kind of information. So we've selected our port arrival time. Yes, it's getting really close now. We are going to click continue. All right, the very last step here, we've got Mickey next to a Disney cruise ship. This is the cruise contract. Read through, scroll through this very long cruise contract here. Yes, I've looked through it before. I've been on a number of cruises. And then you agree to it. You can print it or you can email it. I don't really want to print 50 pages of things, so I'm going to email it to myself. Put in my email address here and double check my email address once I put it in and click send. And that way it has sent me a copy of the cruise contract, and we click the very last step, complete check-in right there in the middle bottom. Easton,
complete it.
Want to click it for me?
Yeah.
All right. My helper here.
We're going on the Disney cruise soon.
And now we have our port arrival form. One of the most important parts, you need to have that. You don't have to have a printed copy, but I like to have a printed copy because it's so much easier to I have a little pencil pouch that I keep that printed copy in, and I can just pull it out and show it to people, sometimes easier than I can take my phone out, whatever works for you. I can't print it from my phone, so I will do send via email and I will print it later. And click send, and that has sent me my port arrival form that I will print later. You need to keep your port arrival form with you at all times as part of your documents, along with your passport, IDs, all of that stuff. It's smart to keep it in a little purse or bag that you carry around with you at all times. Don't pack anything valuable or anything that you are going to need in your luggage that you check to send onto the ship. If you don't print your port arrival form, it is right here for you in the Disney Cruise Line app. And it has little Mickeys in the middle of the QR codes that they scan. And it tells all about your port arrival, important reminders. It's a good idea if you read through this, do's, don'ts, all of that kind of thing. It'll get you prepared for your cruise. And again, it asks you if you want to print it or send it via email, which we already sent through email. We're going to go back to our cruise overview now. And it says online check-in is complete. You're all set to sail. So now when we scroll down on this cruise, look at these critters. They're all in color. Critters, I call them. It's Goofy and Minnie and Huey and Dale and Donald and Captain Mickey for the cruise contract. You want to make sure that all of these little critters,
Mickey and the gang.
okay, characters. You want to make sure that all these characters are in full color, that they aren't just an outline. If they're an outline, you haven't completed something. There are also on the left-hand side little green check marks that say complete, all except that very top one where it says overview guest information. It says pending approval, and that's because they have to review your passports and your photo. That can take a long time, so don't panic if it's there for a while. I've seen it take even up until a few days to a week before you board the ship. I'm Melissa with Pixie Dust Adventures.
And I'm Easton from Easton's Edge.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope you found this video helpful. If you enjoy our videos, make sure you like,
subscribe,
hit that bell icon to get notifications of when we post new content.
Don't forget to drop a comment down below and let us know if you have any questions or comments on our videos.
And we want to know if this video was helpful for you.
Always remember, guys, she will book your trip for you. She is a travel agent at PixieDustAdventures.com. Find Melissa, that's my mom here, and she will be personally working with you to make sure you have the greatest experience that you could possibly have. I personally use her as my travel agent, and I can recommend.
Look me up for that complimentary concierge planning assistance, and your planning all starts with a free quote. Thank you for joining us.
Bye.